Put up your hands if you are primarily communicating through text with your customers or WhatsApp. Put up your hands if you're doing that. Put up your hands if you're primarily communicating using voice. Put up your hands if you're primarily communicating using email. Okay, let me ask you a question. Remember, these aren't customers. These are people who have family and friends that are dying. People they're really, really worried about, okay? So let me ask you another question. I'm sorry that you're a bit offline here, so it's a bit unfair. Actually, I'm quite glad you're offline. But let me ask you a question. Suppose you actually had phone signal. How would a member of your family want to tell you that another member of your family has just been taken to hospital seriously ill and is desperately, desperately ill? We need you on the phone right now to give consent to an emergency operation. How would they best get that message to you, do you think? Put up your hands if you think they'd try to phone you. Well, you've got a whole load of very frustrated people. Why? Because you could be in a board meeting, a client meeting, you could be on the phone. I mean, honestly, since when did a voice ever get through to anyone quickly? Did you know, by the way, if you want to recruit people, did you know that the main reason, in fact, for many, the only reason now why 17 to 28-year-olds in Europe use the phone is to do what? Only one thing. Do you know what it is? To talk to mum and dad. So I hope you haven't got any customers who are 27 years old, because they're not going to want to take your calls. The only people they talk to are their parents on the phone. Phone is so last century, it's so inefficient, and it completely failed to get the emergency message through to you. So who's going to send you an email? Put up your hands if you think they'll send you an email. No, they won't. So what are they going to do? There's texting you, yes. Now, what platform are they going to use? I want to know. And the answer will be different for different countries. I want you to open your lungs and shout out as loud as you can one word for the social media platform that your family would send an emergency text to you on. 1, 2, 3, and shout. WhatsApp. Thank you. WhatsApp. Okay. So what we've learned, my friends, and this is possibly the most important thing you've learned today in terms of magic. Customer magic comes from things that cost nothing, okay? Here's a customer. We know that the only thing he takes any notice of is WhatsApp, okay? You see, you're either a member of his family or you're just a business partner. What do you want to be? This person is not interested in email. He's on his tractor. He's checking WhatsApp all the time. WhatsApp takes all the time because all the people that are most important in his life, WhatsApp. Everything else is irrelevant, shut down, right? You're hearing what I'm saying? This is what you've told me. I am not telling you. You've just told me that anyone who tries to communicate anything with you other than WhatsApp is a complete and utter idiot. There must be a business colleague or someone you quite frankly wish didn't exist. Because anybody who really knows you, put up your hands if your best friends are also using WhatsApp. Okay, so, right, you want to think customer. I would say think family. That's what your customer wants. Your farmer wants someone that actually you can really trust. You see, you've either got a business relationship or you're in the family. Actually, this really, really matters in other kind of context. You might think, well, it doesn't matter in family. I tell you, it really does. I think it does. Do you know, if you want to sign a big real estate deal in the Middle East, do you know the only way you can do it? On WhatsApp. Do you know why? Because the WhatsApp goes the email goes, here's the contract, yours sincerely. The WhatsApp relationship, for every email you send, there's 55 WhatsApps going back and forth in the business meeting, in the board meeting, whatever it is. Right in the middle of the board meeting, you're sending him a picture of your latest golf score yesterday. What? Because you know it's the fastest way to close the deal. Because that guy has just sent you a picture of his newborn baby, and the baby is only an hour old. And he's on there right now, and he's expecting your reply within 20 seconds, because every time you WhatsApp him, the social code is it's back reply in how many seconds? 2. Less than 20, thank you. For anything, anybody that's important. The rest are just... So he's just sent you a picture, so you can say, hey, mega congratulations, wow, how cool. I can't compete with that, but here's my golf score. Because you played golf with him, and in fact, that's his big passion is golf. And that's where you sort of did the deal. You know, this goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you say, by the way, I sent you the contract, and back and forth. Oh, it's signed. Just like signed. Why? Because it's a relationship of trust. You're part of the family. This guy believes in you, knows that you would live and die for them. Like their kids are sick or their pets are sick or their animals are sick, they just know that you would move heaven and earth to do the stuff. So I'm not saying you should all start using WhatsApp. Well, I sort of am. I'm asking a question for you on your tables, which is how are you communicating with these customers? And are you actually communicating with them how you'd like to be communicating with yourself? By people who really matter to you. Then let the compliance and regulatory people work out what it all means. They'll probably say, no, we can't use WhatsApp at the moment. Well, let's find out a way that we can. Okay.